Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel, Land. It's been a minute since we gave you people information what is happening in Germany. Yes, we've been traveling, we've been having fun with the family, and those who've been watching our previous videos know. But welcome to our YouTube channel. Here is where we tell people what happens and how to relocate to Germany and what happens here in Germany and in general things to do in Germany. But today we have a special topic. What you need to know about different types of visas. So we have different types of visas, and we want you to get this information so that when you come here or before you come here, you have this information so that by the time you're coming here, you know what to do, what is expected of you, and you don't have these delays like how we did. We had different delays because we didn't know some of this information. So that's the reason we give you people this information so that when you come here, it's easy for you. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being part of this journey for us and always being a subscriber, and we are grateful that we are always empowering people to know what is happening in Germany. So let's get right into it. Which types of visas you would expect to come with when you come to Germany? So we have the visa that we had, which is the work visa. We got the work visa because we got an opportunity to work in Germany, me specifically. So I got a job to work as a product designer with a company called Zalando, and they relocated me all the way from Kenya to Germany with my family. So what type of visa did they give me? They gave me the work visa, and this work visa was valid for 3 months. So within these 3 months, you can travel to go to Germany, and you can travel within the Schengen area, which is some of the countries in Europe. That is why you've been seeing us traveling within the Schengen visa. So this Schengen visa helps you to travel within some countries, and we'll list all the countries that you can travel with that Schengen visa. So this visa was a work visa for me only because I was the person who got the job. But my family was given a family reunion visa, which is attached to my visa, which was also valid for only 3 months for you to be able to get here in Germany. But these 3 months, you're supposed to have a resident permit. 3 months visa and expect to renew a visa here in Germany. You don't renew a visa, you actually get a resident permit. So for us, when we got here, of course, a company that relocated me, which is Zalando, helped me to get the visa. So when we got here, they asked for all the documentation that they needed for them to process the resident permit, which was in Berlin. But then remember, I got a house to live in Brandenburg, so which is a different state than Berlin. Though the company is in Berlin, they are processing everything in Berlin. But Berlin takes time because it's a capital city. There are so many people. Bureaucracy in Germany is real because there are so many paperwork, there's so many people to have these processes done. So the good thing is that we had a friend here in Germany who had relocated and who was working here, and he knew all these things. So he told us, why are you waiting in line where Berlin there are so many people and you're in a different state? And in Brandenburg, there are not so many people. You know, it's kind of a village. There's not so many people. So why don't you transfer all your papers to Brandenburg? And by the time we were doing that, our visa had expired. So you can imagine getting an appointment after your visa had expired. It was dramatic because when you went there, they were like, you're here in this country legally. Where are your papers? And you're like, I already told my company to transfer all the papers, and they transferred. They're like, you should have processed this thing the moment you came here. So that's the reason we're telling you it's safe to get this information. Immediately get to this country, you start processing your resident permit for those who have a work visa. Because with that, they were able to, because of our situation, and they're like, oh, you have kids. And you know, here in Germany, when you have kids, your life is better than when you're an individual. You get some favors. So they told us, you will pay a fine, but we will give you a fictionate visa. This fictionate visa allows you to continue working because I had a job, but it doesn't allow my partner to work because it's not a resident permit. So that is one bit you should know, that with a fictionate visa, you cannot work. And with a fictionate visa, you cannot travel outside Germany. You cannot work with a fictionate visa. But for me, I was still able to work because I already gotten a job, which helped me to continue working because I have this contract with the company, so it's fine for me to work. But for him, when he's looking for a job, he cannot start working with a fictionate visa. He needs to wait for a resident permit. So it was kind of frustrating Why are they not able to give my husband an opportunity and he can be able to work? So it was so frustrating because we didn't know this information. We learned the hard way as we went. So the moment he got his resident, it was easy for him to work. But then again, remember, the resident took a lot of time, took another 3 months to be processed. So you can imagine all this time waiting, going again, and booking an appointment, not getting an appointment, and there's a delay. And if there's a delay and you keep quiet and think that they will come back to you, you have to continue following up with emails, with calls telling them you're waiting for your resident permit, you applied. So it's really, really helpful to know that the first thing, you come with a work permit. And maybe you've relocated with your family. Make sure the first thing you start processing your resident permit. Look for that appointment. Book that appointment. Ask your colleagues who have relocated before, where can I book this appointment? In which website can I book? Where is the best way to book an appointment and get an appointment immediately, even though you don't know the language? Because ideally, for us, it was not easy navigating, Even though right now it's still a learning process. When you speak to them, they will actually respond in English because they know you're an expert, you're looking for opportunity, you're learning along the way. So some of this thing is really, really key for you to know when you're relocating with a work visa and you're relocating with your family, with family reunion, because their resident is attached to you. And if you're a skilled worker like me who was relocated for a job, you're given a blue card. That blue card is, it's called a blue card just because it's given for 4 years, sorry. So these 4 years, you're given like an ID, and this ID is now your resident. It's just a plastic ID, just like the Kenyan one, but it has an expiry date, which you're given for 4 years. So after the 4 years, you can still continue renewing it because your contract is unlimited and it's permanent in this country. So the student visa depends with the type of university and the type of how many years you've gotten this course. This course, are you doing it for 3 years? Are you doing it for 2 years? And it's valid for that particular time. And another advantage for getting a student visa, you can travel within the Schengen area. So you can travel to Austria, you can travel to Vienna, you can travel to Paris, because it's a Schengen region visa. So you're able to travel as a student. That's why there's offers for students, flights, there are offers for student bars, because they're able to travel. So that's an advantage of such visas where you can travel. Another visa is it a visa or is not a visa? Which I'll expand more in another video. Asylum seeker. We've met someone who was an asylum seeker in Germany, and he told us, if I can tell Kenyans, specifically Kenyans, it's not easy to maneuver with an asylum visa or an asylum kind of way. When you come here and then you come with a visit visa, and then after some time you like unajipeana, it will not be easy. Some have been able to maneuver, but some kind of say it's kind of the hardest, because the moment you give yourself in and then you say you're an asylum, your story has to stick. You have to give a very concrete story, which some of them cook, and I'll not give an example for you to come and quote me in the near future. But your visa, you're actually not even given you're given a 3-month visa, which is as they get to know what you're doing in Germany, if your story is true, if it's legit, and you cannot leave Germany, because they're still trying to investigate if it is safe in your country, if it is not safe, and clearly Kenya is safe, as you can see. So it's very tricky for them. So that's why they give you just 3 months to investigate, and for those 3 months, you should not leave Germany. You can go to another city in Germany, but you cannot leave Germany. But for that particular visa, which is asylum seeker visa, I'll speak more about it in another video. So there's another visa which is called the opportunity card, the chance card. I've been speaking about this, and people have been coming here. My previous video, I've interviewed 2 people who came with chance card visa in Germany. So what are the advantages of chance card visa? There was one who was given a 6-month visa. There was another one who was given a 1-year visa for chance card. So advantages of chance card, you can look for job, either part-time or full-time. Unlike the student visa, you can only look for part-time job. You cannot be given a full-time job with a student visa, because you're expected to work and also study. So you can only be given part-time job. But for the chance card, you can work full-time and you can work half-time. Part-time, not half-time. Part-time, which is 20 hours per week. And you can work also full-time. But now, when you come with 6 months, it's hard for them to give you a job, a full-time job, because they say we actually need a 1 year. So even though sometimes you can block a 6-month visa or a 4-month visa, depending on the situation you have, it's safer to block a 1-year visa, because when you get a job, it's easy for them to give you an opportunity knowing that it's 1 year long. But the few months, it's very tricky. So one of the disadvantages of chance carte visa, which is the job seeker looking for an opportunity within the 1 year, you cannot leave Germany. That I didn't know. You can travel in Berlin, you can go to Cologne, Munich, but you cannot leave Germany. You cannot go to a different country. Because it's not a Schengen visa. You cannot go to Austria, you cannot go to Austria, you cannot go to France within the Schengen visa, because you're looking for a job. So they want you to concentrate in Germany as you look for a job in Germany. But what is another advantage for it? Within the 1 month or 2 months when you've come with the opportunity and get a job and get a full-time job, you can get a resident permit. If you get a job which is permanent and a long contract, or maybe 3 years or 4 years, you can be given a resident permit, and that allows you to travel. So why is it good to come with the opportunity card? It's good, yes, you get an opportunity to look for a job. But the best thing, if you get a job, you can be able to get your resident permit and you can be able to travel anywhere in Europe. So I'm hoping some of these visas have given you kind of a light on what you're expected to do, what if you come here with different type of visa, what you're supposed to do, how you can do it to be able to enjoy life here in Germany and work and relax at the same time. Because at the end of the day, we need to balance work and life, because Germany encourages life-work balance. Even right now, we're in a park. It's a holiday in Germany. People are all over with their families, with their children, playing around and having good time with your family. And I think we can show you more when we walk around. We're even here to just tell you this information and also just play and have fun with our children. So you cannot work on holiday. Supermarkets are closed, everything is closed. So they encourage people to spend time with your family, play with your children, and also have a life out of their work. So that is why it's important. It's important for them to be able, for you to be able to travel and have a luxurious life as you work, because this life can be hard. So I'll look for other types of visas as we continue shooting content here. But tell me, which type of visa would you like me to talk about? Or which type of visa did you come here in Germany, and how did you maneuver to get a resident permit? Or how did you maneuver in life here in Germany as you were looking for a resident permit, or as you were looking for a better type of visa for you to be able to stay here in Germany? Because I've seen people come here with a student visa. After the student visa, they got a job, they got married, relocated, or maybe got a job, relocated their family from the student visa. But you cannot have a student visa and relocate your family. You can have a student visa after the course you've done, you graduated, get a job, get a residence that is valid for maybe 3 years, 4 years, then you can relocate your family depending on the type of job you got and the type of salary you got, and then you relocate your family. So different type of visa have different advantages and different things that you can do here in Germany. So this information is really helpful, because if anything, if we knew some of this information before we came, our life would have been easier, and that's why we're making your life easier before you come here in Germany. So stay tuned for more content.